Well, hello there, my name is Lucca, and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4. Today I am back in my base game only save file, and I had an itch to scratch, and so I built a couple base game homes back to back. I hope you don't mind. If you haven't seen the last video, the last base game build, I'll put it in the little iCard in the thingy up there on the right hand side there. But basically, I found some homes scattered around eastern Kentucky, where I'm from, and they just looked so fun and realistic, and I decided to recreate them in The Sims kind of in my own way. This home I am building on the Beach Byway lot in Newcrest. This is actually just down the street from the last build as well, but yeah, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom suburban home. It also has a little shed slash kind of, garage-ish type of building out the back as well, and it also has a back garden. It's a really, really cute little home. It was really fun finding like inspiration from Street View on Google Maps. That's actually what I did. So I basically just looked around kind of where I'm from, sort of. Not really. It was a few towns away, but basically I just kind of like looked around and I was like, okay, I kind of just want to look around and see if there's any homes that kind of strike my interests, and I found a few, and this one was really fun because it was a shape that I hadn't really done before, and I really enjoyed it. And it was really fun to do the floor plan too, because doing these homes where they're kind of a different shape than I would normally build, it kind of forced me to do the floor plan a little differently, and I really like that, because I always kind of go with this like default floor plan kind of idea in my head, and it just, I don't know, I get so used to doing the same thing over and over, and this was a really great way to kind of break it up. It took me a bit to figure out where to place the stairs here, because as I usually do with my builds, unfortunately, I start doing the floor plan and everything, and I'm like, okay, it's done, and then I forget the stairs, and the stairs are a very integral part of multi-floor homes, because the stairwell takes up some space, but also it kind of decides where the rooms upstairs are going to be. So you do see me later on kind of extending the house slowly but surely to the shape that it's going to be, and I don't know, I was enjoying that. It was kind of a fun little puzzle almost. Also, really quickly, I did want to mention, and I will try to remember to link these in the description. You know me, I tend to forget those things, but let me know in the comments if you can't find it. But basically, I'm using a override mod. It does not show up in your game or anything. It won't like affect you being able to download it from the gallery. It doesn't mark it with CC or anything like that, but basically it's just a texture override for all of the terrain throughout the worlds in The Sims 4. I can't exactly remember the name. Hold on. Yes, so it is K-Hippie. It's K-Hippie on Tumblr. They have some incredible mods that just kind of override a lot of things in The Sims 4 to make it look a little bit realistic. They have a lot more than just like terrain and textures and such, but this one, it just adds a nice flavor to The Sims 4. And I also have Sunblind by Softer Haze installed into my game as well. That's not really a mod, it's a kind of rehaul of the lighting in The Sims 4, and basically it's not something you put in your mods folder. You have to put it in like the game files folder, so it's a little bit more complicated, but it's still pretty simple and easy to install, and it just makes the game look so good. Combined with the texture mod, oh my goodness, it just looks so good right now in The Sims 4. Unfortunately, with the Softer Haze, like the Sunblind mod, you kind of have to reinstall it every time there's a game update, because the game updates always like refresh that, so it is kind of unfortunate, but it's still so worth it. I will try to leave all of the links to this stuff in the description down below, but please yell at me in the comments if I tend to forget, because I always forget. You know me, I have ADHD. It's liable to happen. This home is so cozy. It's so heckin' cute. I'm so happy with it. Basically, I had like a storyline with these Sims. Okay, I always try to when I'm building so that I have kind of like an idea of who I'm building for. Basically, this is a family that's kind of, they're like a middle-aged family, I'm gonna say. The parents are maybe in their 40s or 50s. They've got 2 kids. One of them is a teenager, or maybe they're a young adult or about to go to college or something like that. They are, he's kind of like a bit of a nerd, a bit of a, an artist. He's kind of a little bit of everything. He has his bedroom upstairs. And then there is a younger sister who, she loves pink. I think she might be like a preteen. She's kind of growing out of a lot of the, kiddish, like childish stuff. Not childish stuff. That sounds mean. She's just outgrowing a lot of her childhood things, like her toys and such. And she's starting to kind of get a little bit more, into her own. And that's kind of the vibes. And then the dad, I actually thought maybe he works as like a mechanic or he's like an office worker and he just kind of has a boring desk job, but he loves to come home and like tinker with things. That's his like hobby. And the mom, maybe she's a stay-at-home mom, or maybe she works as well somewhere. This is kind of a traditional family, but she works maybe she works at a doctor's office. Ooh, I can see that. She's the receptionist. But yeah, and she works at a doctor's office and her hobby is gardening. So she goes out back and she does her gardening every day. Her and her husband just kind of they have their own time to each other, but they're still kind of together because, she's doing her gardening, he's doing his tinkering in the garage, and, it's just an all around happy family. There's no weird vibes. There's no drama. There's no affairs. If you want there to be, you can. I really need to make these Sims. I really should start making Sims for these homes, I think, especially for the base game ones. So do let me know if you want to see either a create a Sim video or maybe just like a introduction to the Sims or a day in the life of the Sims. I don't know. I really want to start trying to change up my content here. I definitely want to keep doing speed builds, of course. Speed builds are going to be kind of my bread and butter, and of course rags to riches, but I really think I want to start doing more gameplay because I feel like it would be really fun to just play with the base game, honestly. I know that's crazy in this day and age with all these packs, but it would be really fun to just be like, maybe even just a one-shot video of me just playing with a family for, a day or two and just be like, here's this family, I'm introducing you to them, and then you can just kind of download them and play them however you would like. Like, I almost feel like that would be tying in my speed builds as well. It would give the build more purpose for me, but also it would just kind of create a little bit more of a harmonious vibe with my content, if that makes sense. It would kind of like, make it just a little bit more well-rounded. And I don't know, just let me know in the comments what you think about that. This is me just messing around with the terrain paint. It was kind of a weird little setup. I was actually looking at the real life home here in this case because they did have a detached garage out the back, and it looked like they had like a little bit of a driveway leading up to it. I think I mess around with it and I figure something out, but I kind of like to think that he has like, his simple, go to work every day car, and then there's his like nice car that he's had since like the 80s maybe, and he likes to take care of it. It's his little project, possibly, we'll say. I don't know. I just think that's really, really cute, and it's kind of stereotypical. It's kind of traditional, but I kind of love it. It's precious. Like, look at me. Oh, those precious straight people. Look at them. They're just living their lives. Oh, I'm so they should be so proud of themselves. I'm just being silly, y'all. I really do think this would be a really fun family to play. It would be really fun to just kind of have like a simple gameplay. I don't know. I like simple gameplay sometimes. It's just nice to maybe tell a little bit of a story. Maybe the son, he discovers something. Maybe he's like, because he's into into science and stuff, or maybe the daughter, breaks out into sports and she's like super popular or whatever. Or maybe one of them gets abducted by aliens. I don't know. There's no aliens in The Sims 4, not in the base game at least. It's in Get to Work, but that's one. That's kind of sad. I think that was a missed opportunity for The Sims to have aliens in the base game, because they've always been in the base game, at least with like The Sims 2 and such. They missed opportunity. The little detached garage out the back, I kind of made it not just a garage, but more just like a shed with like some stuff that you can tinker in. I should have put the other side of the garage door there. There's a base game like debug kind of show live edit object thing that looks like a garage door, and I should have kind of worked with that, but it's fine. But I kind of made it just like a little hobby, place. I put like a card table for maybe him and his buddies to play cards, and a little workbench, some old books, maybe they're like old like workbooks or something, and some workout equipment, just random bits and bobs. I'm trying with these base game builds to give myself some variety, because I tend to do the same things a lot over and over with the base game, because we're pretty limited, and for me personally, with my gameplay, I tend to think things a little differently. So I was like, what, I gotta do something different. I can't just build the same things over and over. I can't just build artists starter homes for every single build. I've gotta create some vibes and some stories, and some places for different kinds of Sims. I also need to start thinking of doing some community lots for the base game. I do have a couple ideas here and there. I especially would love to build some kind of like daycare, kind of recreational, it wouldn't really be like a recreational like center like from Growing Together. It would just be like a park most likely. But I would want to, create something that would be good for like skill building for like kids and teens possibly. Something like that, maybe something like YMCA-esque or something like that. Maybe like, I don't know. I could probably even make a gym, and then like, I don't know. I want somewhere where all Sims will actively just go to automatically, because a lot of community lots in The Sims 4, they will just kind of like, townies will just kind of like show up, so and do things. So I want it to be like, oh, this building, a lot of kids go to. Let me know any suggestions that you have for those in the comments. I think I'm gonna try at least with my speed build portion. I may build some off camera, but I'm at least gonna do at least one of each kind of lot possibly, because with this base game save file, I have 3 worlds, and that's not super overwhelming, honestly. I could realistically do like a handful of community lots in each world. It would still mean that you would have to travel between the worlds, so I kind of want to keep it a little bit more realistic and just kind of include like at least a park and a gym and maybe a library for each world possibly. I think that would be a good balance. I so desperately wish we had like cafes in the base game. That would be so fun. Those came with Get Together, which is still a great pack. I always love that pack, but of course, it'd be cool if there was something of that variety with the base game. I don't know, there's just something about building with the base game that it's so fun for me. I guess because me, I'm a very indecisive person. I'm a Libra rising, y'all. So it's just how I am. And the thing is, I'm a Leo sun, Libra rising. And so I'm a people pleaser. Okay. I'm a diplomat. Okay. So when it comes to making decisions, I'm always thinking about other people before myself. And I don't know why it translates to everything else in my life, because building a house in The Sims does not appeal to anybody but me. At least, when it comes to building and like deciding which things to put in a home. So I'm just an indecisive person by nature. So having just the base game to work with actually is so nice, because I don't have to decide on, which, tiling. I just go with whatever tiling looks good. I know that's kind of a weird way to kind of say that, being like, oh, I have all these packs, and it's just so nice to not have to use them, you know? Like, I don't mean to be that way. It's just very refreshing to build with the base game, especially for a content creator like myself, because I'm trying to get back into the swing of things with content creation. It's kind of been a little bit of a slippery slope for me lately. So I'm trying to kind of keep it back into a good natural swing of things, keep it fun, keep it fresh, and building with the base game, it's pretty fresh, honestly. And plus the vibes of the base game, I don't know. I know a lot of people kind of criticize it, and rightfully so. There are some objects in the Sims 4 base game that are kind of ugly, but the thing is, there's just like a certain aesthetic that the Sims 4 base game has that it captures really well. And I don't know, I've just grown to really love it over the years. Even with other packs involved, there's just a certain vibe, because each base game in the Sims series has its own aesthetic, and regardless of how many packs come out, what vibes they bring, it's always going to be like the underlying foundation for the entirety, because it's the base game. So like the Sims 3 had a vibe, the Sims 2 had a vibe, the Sims 4, it has a vibe, and some people may not like it, and I understand the criticisms, but I will say The Sims 4 is my favorite title in the entire series, because I love building and I love creating aesthetics and vibes, and it's a really good game for that, to be honest. It's kind of the majority of what it is in The Sims 4, unfortunately, but I don't know. It's like how with Animal Crossing, how like there's a lot of people that are like very like New Horizons versus New Leaf, where New Leaf was full of gameplay, full of character, full of just that, that essence that is Animal Crossing, and then New Horizons comes along and it's very much about aesthetics and building and decorating, and it's kind of lost some of the gameplay aspects of the past that kind of give it that character, at least for some people. So yeah, it's kind of like, where do you fall? It's not necessarily that it's bad. It's that, are you more of a creative builder, or are you more of a player that wants to play the game as a game? If that makes sense. Obviously, The Sims 4 is a little bit of a different scenario, because regardless of how you play, it's a very creative game regardless, but it's more, I don't know. It's just, it depends on who you are and how you like to play. Anyways, enough rambling aside. I love my little rambles, honestly. I'm trying to like accept them, because anyways, regardless, back to the actual build itself. I'm just working on the parents' bedroom here. I went with a pretty simple traditional vibe. I do love all of the furniture that I use. I try to only use furniture in The Sims 4 that I actually like enjoy using, but I've been trying to break myself out of that a little bit. I've been trying to be like, okay, you got to use that different swatch. You can't use that same swatch on that same thing every single time you build, because it's going to be in every single build you do if you do with base game. So count how many times I've said the base game in this video. Actually, that's a joke, but if you do, leave it in the comments. That would be great. But the downstairs bathroom it's just a bathroom. Bathrooms are pretty boring. Even just building without the base game and just doing anything, it's pretty boring sometimes. But I don't know. I just made it a cozy little simple bathroom. It's functional. It's got a full washer dryer. Yeah, that's what that is. It's got a full shower bathtub unit, which is always so nice. And I just kind of went with like a brown toned vibe, and I liked the warm tones. I don't know, I tend to go with cooler tones in bathrooms, but I liked the warm tones. But anyways, I'm just kind of like doing some more edits. This was that little jump that you saw there. That was actually the next day. So I'm working on some more backyard stuff that I forgot to do the back porch. I kept it really simple with the backyard. One thing I actually forgot to place down that I should have was like a picnic table, or like a table with an umbrella or something like that. I always put one of those, and I didn't this time, but there is a grill grill outside at least, which for me, since this is a home built in Eastern Kentucky, I liked to think about how I live and, you know, kind of reflected in that. But basically when I lived with my mom and her boyfriend, he would always grill outside, even in the middle of winter. Like he would be like, okay, I'm going to cook some burgers on the grill. And I'm like, it's December, but he was like, so what? And I'm like, you know what? That's valid. And you know what? They were so good. So yeah, grilling, honestly, do it all year. It's great. There's no other way like it. And then this is the older brother's bedroom. I did kind of go with just a very stereotypical color scheme, but I really like this vibe that I did in here. It's very blue. It's very dark blue. It's very like teen boy aesthetic from like 2004, but I love it. You know, I put a lot of like geeky stuff around too. Not a lot, but I just did like that really fun chair there. I kind of was like, this is kind of like a gaming chair. It's an astronaut's chair, by the way. It's the one you unlock from the career. I put in a telescope, a guitar, an easel. He's just got a lot of hobbies. He's one of those kids that like tries out a bunch of different things, and he just has stuff sitting around that he doesn't really use all the time, like I was when I was a kid, because I had undiagnosed ADHD for sure. But I did have a telescope when I was younger. I loved that thing, and I would constantly look at the sky at night, and I loved looking at the moon, because there wasn't really a whole lot of else to look at night because I lived in the mountains, so it kind of obstructed a lot of view sometimes. But if I could see the moon, I would look at it, and it would be so cool. And it would also be a little bit scared because it made me feel, you know, even as an 8-year-old, I would be like, wow, I'm feeling existential dread all of a sudden. What's happening? I'm 8. And then another simple little bathroom down upstairs. I kept it smaller than the other one and a little more dated. It's nothing crazy. It's nice though. It does the job. It's just got a shower in it this time though, so it is not, you can't really use this for toddlers or anything like that. But I made it look a little bit more cluttered and a little bit more like this is the kids' bathroom. Like nobody else really comes up here other than the kids. So I kept it a little bit more like, you know, kind of whatever looking. I'm so excited for y'all to see the girls' bedroom because it's very pink, it's very bright, it's very silly, and I love it so much. It's so great. It is just, I don't know, it's nice. I made sure to also pay attention to the landing upstairs as well as like the hallways and such. I was like, you know, there needs to be like a little accent table, you know. That's something that you see in like bigger homes like this, is like they at least put some effort into those rooms, because you know what, it makes it look nice and a little bit more finished and lived in, and it makes it look like they've been here a lot longer too, so it just adds that little touch of, you know, touch of realism. And I was trying to use a bed that I have not really used before for the kids' bedroom here, and I went with this pink, like really bright pinkish like bedding here, and I was like, you know, I don't ever use this, and I was gonna have it be 2 teen boys and like they would be like opposites, but when I placed this bed down, I was like, I can see the older brother, younger sister vibe from Snow Day. That's for some reason where my brain went. And do y'all remember that movie, Snow Day? Oh my goodness, I loved that movie so much. Such a good, like, oh my God, it was the true beginning of friends to lovers for me. What a good movie. I kind of want to watch that movie. I know it's April, but I kind of want to watch that. So fun. Me and my cousin always watched it growing up. It was such a good movie, but yeah, I could just see the energy here, like the, you know, the older teen brother. He's kind of like, stay out of my room, and she's like whatever, loser, but she really wants to use a telescope because she's fascinated by astrology or astronomy or something like that. I don't know, I could see that happening. I would love to see like how these Sims could play out. I really want to play with these Sims too. Every time I build something like this and I talk about it, I'm like, I want to make these Sims. I want to play the Sims. And then I never take the time to do it because I spend all my time building. But yeah, do let me know if you want me to make these Sims either in a video, or if you want me to like play with them in a video, something like that. I would love the suggestions and also the feedback. helps me, know what y'all want me to make. I'm just gonna be finishing up this little bedroom here. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this build. You can find it on the gallery under my user ID, Lucca Owens. It is LuccaOwens. And then if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. I would really appreciate it. I see y'all with the 53% not subscribed. Please subscribe. It'd be really awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think, and leave any suggestions for future builds, whether it's with the base game or not, as well. And yeah, that is everything. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I'll speak to y'all next time. Bye, y'all.